Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of the Reflection series, where we listen to stories that recharge and rejuvenate us. And today we have with us Lyn. Lyn was a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine and other holistic healing modalities for about 35 years. Lyn started meditating in her 20s and trying different kinds of meditation until she came upon Raj Yoga meditation and knew she had found her truth and has been practicing it since 1998. And the topic of the story that Lyn is going to share with us today is trusting the drama of life. Lyn shares how she came to study traditional Chinese medicine and how she found the locations in which to practice it. She will share how a simple accident and what followed from that led to a satisfying career change, a change that would alter the course of her life in a way she had never dreamed of. So wonderful to know what the story was. Sounds very interesting. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome Lyn. So hearty welcome, Lyn. And it's over to you to share your story.
Okay, lovely to speak with you also, and thank you for the warm welcome. I thought today that the title was designed to make us really think about how much we actually are governed by circumstances of our life, the play of life, the drama of life, and how often sometimes we think it's adverse, but in actual fact, it turns out to be the best thing that ever happens to us. And when I sold my business quite a long time ago, I wanted to go into the healing modalities. I wanted to become a healer of some kind, but I wasn't sure what initially, and had filled out a form to join a naturopathy organisation to study that. But I kept resisting, forgetting to mail it, forgetting to do that. And I was in the final changeover stages of the business. So you have to, after you sell it, spend some time with the people taking over. And then one day I was going to take my little dog for a walk, and I stepped in a hole and broke my leg. And I was in hospital for about 10 days. And in that time, I had time to think and do nothing. And I'd always lead a very busy life. And then when I came home from hospital, I started to read the newspaper cover to cover. Now, I still haven't sent the form off for naturopathy, but I'm wanting to do something. I need a career change. And then all of a sudden, on an obscure spot in the Age newspaper was this advertisement for Chinese medicine. Now, I'd never, ever thought about it because I was not a lover of injections. I thought, oh, acupuncture, I'm not sure about that. But I rang up anyway because it felt, it's in such a obscure place you have to find out. So curiosity got the better of me. And by sheer luck, and the drama, of course, that it's meant to be, is I got through to the actual teacher. The phone had not been disconnected back to the switchboard. And I spoke to him, and I was so impressed with what he said in my inquiry that I immediately got forms sent out. No internet in those days. Forms sent out, and I made the application, and there I was with my leg in plaster up to my groin, on crutches, and having to be driven there, and I started my course. Now, it was the most amazing experience because we did not only the practice of Chinese medicine, which is called massage, acupuncture, herbal medicine, meridian massage. So we also had to do the martial arts. So we had Tai Chi, Qigong, Wugong, quite a few others, and the Tao. So I spent a lot of time getting upstairs, but of course I had to only watch people when I was when they were doing the exercise, but I had to attend because the attendance record had to be there. So once I finally came out of plaster, the day that I had the plaster cast off at the hospital, I went back to the clinic. I had a treatment on my leg with acupuncture, and I drove home that day, which was pretty amazing because it'd been in plaster for about 6 months because there was 2 bones broken. And I never looked back. And the study was I loved every minute of it. I discovered things inside myself that I didn't know were there. And it's interesting because we realize that somehow we have innate knowledge of things we're drawn to. And I understood things that I'd never read about before. So I thought, this is absolutely right for me. So when I finished my time, I helped out in the clinic as a student, but then when I finished my time, I used to spend one day at the clinic I trained in. And I was deciding where to set up clinic. And I had 2 options because my teacher was going to start another clinic, and he wanted me to be the practitioner there. But it was taking a little while to get permits and come into fruition. And I had another offer for a day at another place, which I was going to accept as well. And then all of a sudden, things sort of changed. And I heard about this Western Medical Clinic in Preston. And a friend of mine said, why don't you take rooms there? They've got a vacant room. So I thought, I'll go along. And there was still a lot of prejudice against Chinese medicine at that time, or all natural therapies within the orthodox medical profession. And so I went and I had an interview with the chap, and we had a really lovely discussion, and I talked to him frankly, and I was dressed in a normal way. I didn't look Chinese or anything. Don't disrespect there, but they expected me to be Chinese. And I took the room. And from day one, I had clients. And at one point there, within the first 3 months of practicing, people had to wait 6 weeks to get in for their first visit. So it was absolutely accurate. And yet I thought I was getting second best. On both occasions, I thought, it's a second choice all the time. So the big lesson, I think, for me was to realize that often we're guided to where we go by our innate wisdom. We really do understand what we're meant to do, but we don't connect with it. And we don't trust ourselves enough. And it was a really big thing for me. And I went on and expanded a lot. I did a lot of other things because Chinese medicine also encourages the study of astrology. And astrology gives you a clue to what the person is like, about themselves as a being. And it was just so fantastic. I loved it. I lived and breathed it for all the time I practiced. And eventually I realized when I went to retire from it, that I was living it all the time, and I wasn't allowing enough room for other things to come in. And even then, when I changed from there, I started to teach meditation, which I'd done many forms of before. And I started to teach meditation as well, and some positive thinking. And all of those slotted in so well with the philosophy of Chinese medicine because it's a holistic thing. Now, when we talk about life, we often say the drama of life, don't we? It's a common expression. We even use expressions like drama queen when someone exaggerates something. But there's no exaggeration when you're taken to a point where even though you think something's an adverse reaction, it actually works out so well for you. And you find yourself completely in a world that you understand, that you enjoy immensely, that you live and breathe. And not only that, you benefit your own life as well, because herbal medicine is still a very good thing, because all medicine was based on herbs once. And I've been taking herbs now for about 40, 50 years, nearly 50 years. And I now enjoy I can keep going all day. I can do a lot of things that I need to do because of Chinese medicine and the different modalities of exercise. I'm still very flexible in my body, which helps me a lot to get through, because body is aging. We're getting older, and we don't want to be like someone who's stuck, not able to walk properly or anything like that. So I found that I really felt that just through what seemed an adverse situation of breaking my leg and causing incredible inconveniences at times, because I was in a wheelchair with a splint straight out in front and I get stuck in corners. So there was a lot of fun and games going on there. And at Christmas time, when I went to see, to the family, those days I was still doing plaster casts on the leg and not the fiberglass ones. I had all these messages written all over my leg. And it was just some extraordinary circumstance that came about it. But it was the most amazing thing that I have ever happened. And I've had a few little incidences like that have led me in directions, even the way I came to do Raj Yoga meditation. That was another setback. We won't go into that now. But it was just that feeling of absolute accuracy, that this is what I'm meant to be. So we really do need to trust the drama of life, to understand that things happen for a reason. And when we're drawn or led somewhere, don't fight it. Go along with it, because if it's meant to happen, it will happen. And we will find ourselves again, and we'll find what we're meant to be doing, even if at first we don't think it's what we're meant to do. So I think that's what I would like to say about that. And just keeping in mind that never see anything as a difficulty. See it as something that gives you an opportunity to change direction in your life. So I hope that gives you some insight.
Yeah, that's very wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. It's, one thing that you just shared, that just go along with whatever is happening. That sometimes seems quite difficult. Like, it's not as easy as we it may seem. Like some things it's okay to say, let's go with it, but sometimes it's like, no, we kind of resist it. So, based on your experience, do you have any ways or tricks how to accept it?
Well, I'll tell you one thing you've got to realize. If you're into a situation that doesn't work out within a reasonable period of time, you know that you've got to change direction again. So that's important to keep in mind. So sometimes you have to get led to there to go to there. It's a bit like bus journeys. Have to catch one bus in order to get to the bus stop with the other one. It's a bit like that, life is. But what you have to realize is that ultimately, any alternative doesn't feel right. And sometimes we have to get used to that new situation and realizing that everything is a learning curve. So we learn from every experience we have. And if we can sort of step back from a situation and maybe even write down some ideas and think of it and look at it objectively, and maybe even talk it over with someone. Because what people get worried about is changing something that's often the opposite to what they've been doing so far. And you can imagine going from having your own business to Chinese medicine was a huge change. But in actual fact, it wasn't in a lot of ways, because it just slotted into place in my life. And the study, I mean, I climbed so many stairs to attend classes. I watched people do Tai Chi and Qigong and everything like that, and then had to catch up. So I had to do a lot of work catching up. I had to do a lot of physio and methodology on my leg to get it moving again, because it was, it took a long time to get it moving after a double break. So, but because suddenly I realized it was right, none of that. It was hard, but it wasn't an issue. There was a subtle difference there that, yeah, it's worth the effort. And that's what you have to keep in mind. If something is worth the effort, it's worth doing.
Yeah.
Does that help at all, do you think? Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes. It's kind of knowing that where you're going is the right path. And then when you know that, you'll definitely make effort and, keep going.
And that's why you have to trust the drama of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because life's like a blueprint, isn't it? If it looks like a blueprint, that every person has to have their own blueprint, because we've all got to slot in with one another, all the people around us. And if we did have a blueprint, how could we do that? It would be chaos. But life isn't like that. It's challenging, yes, but it's not chaos. And so, yeah, and it's worth the effort, because even though at times some people, and I know with their journey can be really challenging with a health issue or something like that, then that can be disheartening, but it still feels like they've got to keep going. And that's one of the big clues. Keep going, keep on keeping on, as the saying goes.
Yeah, yeah. Keep going and keep learning, because
Keep learning.
like you're benefiting something out of it, and you're growing,
Yeah.
though it is challenging, or the adverse situations, but growing and learning, it keeps us going. So
keep on going. Yeah. And hopefully others benefit and learn as well as you go along. People learn from your experiences, and they benefit too, because you're giving them another food for thought. So we never know the full effect of what our experiences has, not just on ourselves, but on others.
yeah.
But what you do find is when it all sits right at the right time, there is contentment. That's really important. And remember, we're spiritual beings as well. We're not just physical beings. And we have a lot of knowledge we don't even know we have there inside our blueprint. And sometimes you've got to allow it to come out.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So
The word you said, contentment, that's like quite an indicator.
A big indicator.
How we are traveling.
Yeah, well, it's like someone who does a university course. It's hard yakka, doesn't it? And then you finish it and you get that bit of paper.
And then there's the joy.
And there's the joy and contentment. And it's the same thing in all experiences of life, because once you get through the experience to that point where you see it with different eyes, that's when the joy, the contentment comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. That, though it initially the push may seem difficult, but when you have the result, you just forget all the pain.
And then you realize that you have actually enjoyed the journey after all. But it's looking back in hindsight, it wasn't as bad as all that,
Yeah.
So I think, that's the big thing, to let go of other people's expectations. They're your expectation, they're your life, and we can't live anybody else's. And I think often people have an expectation that is someone else's, that are superimposed on them. And once they get back to what they really want, yeah.
That's quite enlightening, Lyn. It's I mean, these are kind of wisdom that we need in life to continue on happily.
And at this time, yes, you're right. At this time particularly, it's the most difficult time the world has faced in the history of the world that we know of. And, there's trouble spots everywhere. The energy is heavy. People are worried about so much. They're sorrowful. They're really sad. They're worried about money. They're worried about losing their job. There's so much tension and stress. And that can affect you if you allow it. So what we have to realize is don't add extra stress to your burden. Start thinking clearly and simply. Keep the thought that I can be contented, I can be happy with what I have at this moment in time. And then when you realize that, you put out a more passive energy and people around you feel that. And they're more comfortable in your presence. And that's what the role of the healer is, that people, when they come to them, they have to feel comfortable in that person's presence and feel that there's love and concern there. And surely we can do that with everybody, even if we don't know them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Lyn, for those beautiful sharings. And just looking at the time, if I could request you to maybe lead the viewers into a meditation through a commentary,
Yeah.
if that's okay.
Certainly, yeah.
Thank you.
Take some lovely deep breaths, breathing in right into your tummy and breathing out. And 2 more breaths, breathing in and breathing out. 1 more, breathing in and breathing out. Just allow your thoughts to be still. And just imagine that you're in a room that is very quiet, that there's no noise, no radios, nothing there to distract you. You're sitting in a comfortable chair and you're relaxing. And listen for a second to the music. Just feel that relaxation feed into you. And say to yourself, I am peaceful. I am happy. I am contented. I, the being I am, are all of these and more. I am happy with what I have in life. I am contented with the people around me, and I take joy in everything I do. And I feel free, free to be me, free to love the world, to care for others, and to care for myself as well. And I can reach out to any human being with my thoughts. And in that thought, we can share a pleasant feeling of love and concern. And in that love and concern, I become one with all humankind, with the collective consciousness of the human race. I am one and a part of that. And let me share energy now as you quietly listen to the music. Share sweet thoughts, gentle thoughts, kind thoughts to a world that needs that so much. But keep breathing, gently breathing. Keep relaxing the mind. Really feel who you are. Really feel the being that you are inside your head. I am a soul. I live in this body and I am free. Breathe. 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 Now open your eyes very wide. Look up above you, above the horizon, and let your thoughts go right out to the whole world. Just letting the thoughts go out to the world. Then beyond the world to the universe. The thoughts have no boundaries. Just let them go, reminding yourself they are thoughts of love, of peace, of joy, of comfort. I am all that and more, and I share with everyone. Gently lower your eyes to 45 degrees, looking down and breathing in, and connect with your own heart and feel that love within your being. I am a being of love, of light, of peace. Really allow yourself to feel it, heart and mind connected as one. If it starts to drop, say the words to yourself in your mind. I am a being of love, of light and peace. I am. Looking straight ahead, rub your hands together, the palms of your hands together firmly, and place them over your eyes. Rub them till they're hot, that the palms get hot. Might take a few seconds to do that. Place them over your eyes and continue to breathe. Now rub them again and place one hand on the front of your head, the other hand at the back of your head where the skull meets the neck. And look downwards, calm the thoughts.
Thank you, Lyn. Thank you very, very much
My pleasure. Yeah.
for sharing the story and also the unique meditation experience. And I would also like to thank our viewers for joining in today. So continue to trust the drama of life. Take knowing that we are on the right path and keep going, keep growing, and be content always.
Be content. A lovely key and a lovely way to finish. Yes. And just remember, never forget that you're the most important person in your life. It's not vanity, but that's who you are.
Sure, our viewers have really enjoyed and definitely taken benefit out of this story as well. And I would once again like to thank our viewers and also inform of our website, which is www.brahmakumaris.org.au. It is flashing on your screen right now. So please do visit our website if you would like to know more about our programs and events, and also the addresses of the various locations of the meditation centers in Australia. And you're welcome. All the courses and programs are offered free of charge. So please do visit and take benefit. So thank you once again, and we will be back with you with another interesting story and a special guest. Till then, take care and keep seeing the benefit in everything, because life is beautiful. Thank you. Om Shanti.